My documentary both adapts and rejects many conventions typical to documentaries or expositionary documentaries. For me, to properly illustrate this, I utilised QuickTime Player to record my Prezi on codes conventions of documentaries with a voiceover. Types of footage evident in documentaries are clearly a mixture of archive footage and interviews with experts. This was partly accepted in my documentary. As though there was archive footage, this was heavily outweighed by footage I shot myself. And though there are several interviews with experts, there is just as many interviews with the general public in order to gauge virtual reality's interest in the public eye. Sound. Again, the use of sound is not wholly accepted, but rather adapted. As I had the interview with a VR addict saying he enjoys VR, then cut to the VR critic describing how virtual reality took over his friend's life. This shows sound undermining an argument that avoiding the use of comical sound effects due to how out of place it would be. The idea of real events and recreations of actual events was ignored for my documentary. This is due to my documentary not focusing on historical events or crimes, but rather technology, as these other types of documentaries that do focus on historical events or crimes would often more suited for recreations. The voiceover in my documentary both attempts to educate the viewer and put forth an argument. This is due to my documentary both educating the viewer on VR, whilst also attempting to argue the point that VR, as with most new tech, can be addictive as much as it can be lucrative. Overall, my documentary has clearly accepted, rejected, and adapted many codes conventions of a documentary.